What if everything we've been taught about human history is fundamentally wrong? Imagine stumbling upon an object that seems to belong to our modern world, yet it's buried deep in ancient layers of Earth, challenging the very timeline of human ingenuity. We've all heard the official story. Humanity progressed slowly from stone tools to the wheel, then to basic metallurgy, and eventually to the complex machines of today. But what if that narrative is incomplete? What if there were advanced civilizations long before we thought possible, leaving behind clues that we've only just begun to uncover? Today, we're diving into the world of impossible artifacts, objects that defy our understanding of history. We'll start with the enigmatic mechanism of Antikythera, a device so sophisticated it rivals early computers, and the London hammer, a tool encased in rock millions of years old, predating humans themselves. These aren't just curiosities. They're windows into a forgotten past that could rewrite everything we know. Stick around as we explore these anomalies, piece together the puzzles, and question the linear march of progress. By the end, you might find yourself wondering if our ancestors were far more advanced than we've given them credit for, or if there's something even more mysterious at play. Let's begin our journey with one of the most astonishing discoveries from the depths of the Mediterranean Sea. In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera stumbled upon a shipwreck dating back to the 1st century BCE. Among the treasures recovered, statues, coins, and pottery, was a corroded lump of bronze that at first glance seemed unremarkable. But as archaeologists cleaned it, they revealed a complex assembly of gears, dials, and inscriptions. This was no ordinary relic. It was the Antikythera Mechanism, often hailed as the world's first analog computer. Picture this, a shoebox-sized device crafted from bronze with over 30 interlocking gears that could predict astronomical events with eerie precision. By turning a crank on the side, users could simulate the movements of the sun, moon, and planets across the sky. It even accounted for the irregular orbit of the moon, using a sophisticated pin and slot mechanism to mimic what ancient astronomers called the first anomaly. The front dial showed the positions of celestial bodies in the zodiac, complete with a half-silvered ball indicating lunar phases. On the back, spiral dials tracked the 19-year Metonic cycle for calendar alignment and the 18-year Saros cycle for predicting eclipses. Inscriptions listed the dates of ancient athletic games like the Olympics, tying cosmic events to earthly affairs. What makes the Antikythera mechanism so baffling is its level of complexity. Nothing like it appears in historical records until medieval clockwork 1,000 years later. Historians believe it was built around 100 BCE, possibly in Rhodes, drawing on Babylonian astronomical knowledge and Greek mathematical genius, perhaps influenced by thinkers like Hipparchus. Some speculate it was part of a larger tradition of mechanical devices, but no other examples survive. Skeptics once dismissed it as a hoax or misdated artifact, but modern X-ray tomography has confirmed its authenticity, revealing hidden gears and Greek text. Theories abound. Was it a navigational tool for sailors, an educational device for philosophers, or evidence of a lost technological era? One thing is clear, it shatters the idea that ancient Greeks were limited to simple tools. This mechanism suggests they had a profound grasp of gearing and epicyclic motion, concepts that wouldn't resurface until the Renaissance. As we ponder its implications, it forces us to ask, if they could build this, what else might they have achieved that time has erased? Transitioning from the seas of Greece to the dusty plains of Texas, we encounter another artifact that seems to mock our geological timelines, the London hammer. Discovered in 1936 by hikers Max and Emma Hahn near London, Texas, this iron hammer was embedded in a chunk of limestone concretion, a nodule of rock that appeared ancient. The hammer itself is unassuming, a 6-inch tool with a wooden handle resembling 19th century mining equipment. But the rock around it, that's where the mystery deepens. Initial claims suggested the concretion formed in Cretaceous period strata, dating back 65 to 145 million years, long before humans or even primates walked the earth. If true, this would imply the hammer was crafted by some prehistoric intelligence, perhaps a vanished civilization, or even extraterrestrial visitors. Young Earth creationists, like Carl Bohr, who acquired the artifact in the 1980s, promoted it as proof of a pre-flood world, arguing it disproves evolutionary timelines. But let's dig deeper into the facts. Analysis shows the hammer's metal composition: 96.6% iron, 2.6% chlorine, and 0.74% sulfur, indicating modern metallurgy without the impurities expected in ancient iron. The wooden handle has partially carbonized, but that's not unusual in mineral-rich environments. Geologists explain that concretions can form rapidly around objects, decades or centuries, not millions of years, through the precipitation of minerals from groundwater. The hammer likely fell into a crevice in older rock, and a soluble limestone deposit encased it relatively recently. Debunkers point out the lack of documentation at the discovery site. No in-situ photos or stratigraphic analysis link it definitively to ancient layers. Bohr's tests claimed advanced metallurgy, but independent reviews found no such evidence. Still, the artifact captivates because it highlights how natural processes can create illusions of impossibility. It reminds us that not every anomaly is a paradigm shift. Sometimes it's just a misplaced tool in a fast-forming rock. Yet, in the broader tapestry of out-of-place artifacts, the London hammer fuels debates about hidden histories, urging us to scrutinize both the evidence and our assumptions. This theme of misplaced technology echoes in the sands of Iraq, where the Baghdad Battery challenges our notions of when electricity entered human hands. Unearthed in 1936 near the ancient city of Ctesiphon, during the Parthian or Sasanian periods, around 250 BCE to 650 CE, this artifact consists of a terracotta jar about 5 inches tall, containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod sealed with asphalt. When filled with an acidic electrolyte like vinegar or lemon juice, it produces a voltage of about 1.1 volts, enough to suggest it functioned as a galvanic cell. Wilhelm König, the museum director who first studied it, proposed it was used for electroplating gold onto silver objects, a process thought invented in the 19th century. Others speculate electrotherapy for pain relief or even ritualistic purposes, like generating a mild shock to simulate divine power in temples. Skeptics argue it's not a battery at all. No electroplated artifacts from that era exist, and the design lacks wiring or connections for practical use. Similar jars held papyrus scrolls or sacred relics, and the components might be coincidental. Experiments replicating it show weak current, insufficient for plating, but perhaps for tingling sensations in religious ceremonies. Proponents counter that multiple such batteries were found, and ancient texts hint at knowledge of electricity. Herodotus described electric fish, and Pliny the Elder noted magnetic properties. If it was a battery, it implies Parthians understood electrochemistry centuries before Volta's pile in 1800. This artifact bridges ancient ingenuity and modern science, suggesting lost knowledge in metallurgy and chemistry. As we connect it to other enigmas, it paints a picture of civilizations experimenting with forces we assume are recent discoveries, blurring the line between myth and reality. Flying from batteries to birds, the Saqqara bird takes us to ancient Egypt, where a wooden figurine unearthed in 1898 from a tomb in Saqqara has sparked aviation theories. Dating to around 200 BCE, this sycamore wood model resembles a falcon or glider, with a 7-inch wingspan, straight wings, and a vertical tail fin. Mainstream archaeologists see it as a child's toy or ceremonial object, perhaps representing the soul's flight in the afterlife, akin to other bird motifs in Egyptian art. But fringe theorists, noting its aerodynamic shape, claim it's a scale model of an aircraft, evidence that Egyptians understood flight principles millennia before the Wright brothers. Tests in wind tunnels show it could glide if weighted properly, but it lacks a horizontal stabilizer for controlled flight. Critics argue its proportions don't match modern planes, and no ancient texts describe flying machines. Yet proponents link it to hieroglyphs depicting flying boats or gods in aerial vehicles, suggesting lost aviation tech. Perhaps it's a weather vane or boomerang prototype. This bird embodies the allure of OOPArts, seemingly simple objects that, under scrutiny, hint at advanced concepts. It connects to broader Egyptian mysteries, like precise pyramid alignments, implying a sophistication we underestimate. As we soar through history, the Saqqara bird invites speculation. Were ancients tinkering with aerodynamics, or is it our modern lens projecting impossibilities onto the past? Shifting continents, the Piri Reis map of 1513 transports us to Ottoman cartography, with a chart that seems to foresee discoveries. Compiled by Admiral Piri Reis from older maps, including some from Columbus, it depicts the coasts of Europe, Africa, and the Americas with surprising accuracy. Most intriguingly, it shows a landmass extending from South America that resembles Antarctica's ice-free coastline, centuries before Antarctica's official discovery in 1820. Charles Hapgood theorized it drew from prehistoric sources, mapping Antarctica before ice covered it around 4000 BCE, implying ancient seafaring civilizations with global knowledge. Skeptics note, the Antarctic section might be distorted South America, based on Portuguese explorations. The map's accuracy varies. Some parts are precise, others speculative. Piri Reis admitted compiling from 20 charts, including ancient Greek and Arabic ones, but no evidence of pre-Ice Age mapping exists. Modern analysis suggests projection errors common in era maps. Still, it includes details like the Andes Mountains, unknown to Europeans then, fueling theories of lost atlases from Phoenicians or even aliens. This map challenges isolationist views of ancient cultures, suggesting interconnected knowledge networks. It links to other cartographic anomalies, like the Vinland map showing North America, hinting at forgotten explorations that reshape our global history narrative. Delving into crystal mysteries, the famed crystal skulls emerge as enigmatic carvings that have captivated imaginations since the 19th century. These life-sized quartz skulls, purportedly from pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, were said to possess supernatural powers, focusing energy, revealing visions, or holding ancient wisdom. The most famous, the Mitchell-Hedges skull, was allegedly found in 1924 in Belize by adventurer Anna Mitchell-Hedges. Proponents claim they demonstrate advanced polishing techniques unknown to Aztecs or Mayans, suggesting Atlantean or extraterrestrial origins. Legends speak of 13 skulls that, when united, unlock humanity's secrets. But forensic scrutiny reveals most are 19th century forgeries. Electron microscopy shows tool marks from modern rotary wheels, not ancient hand polishing. Provenance traces many to European dealers like Eugène Bobin, who sold fakes to museums. The British Museum skull, acquired in 1897, and the Smithsonian's, bought in 1992, both failed authenticity tests. No Mesoamerican quartz sources match, and inclusions indicate European Alps origins. Even the Mitchell-Hedges skull's discovery story is dubious, with no archaeological context. These hoaxes highlight how desire for mystery can overshadow science, yet they inspire questions about real ancient crystal work, like Mayan lenses. In the OOPArt realm, crystal skulls serve as cautionary tales. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence, even as they sparkle with possibility. Expanding our exploration, the Voynich manuscript beckons from the shadows of Renaissance Europe, a book so cryptic it defies decryption. Acquired by Emperor Rudolf II around 1586, and later by Wilfrid Voynich in 1912, this 240-page vellum codex features unknown script, bizarre illustrations of plants, astronomical diagrams, and nude figures in baths. Carbon dating places it to the early 1400s, but the language resists all code-breaking efforts from WE2 cryptographers to AI algorithms. Theories range from a herbal compendium in a lost tongue to an elaborate hoax by Voynich himself. Linguistic analysis shows patterns akin to natural languages, with word frequencies following Zipf's law, suggesting it's meaningful. Some plants resemble New World species, implying post-Columbian origins, but dating contradicts this. Perhaps it's a ciphered European dialect or alchemical treatise. Its resistance to understanding mirrors other OOPArts, like the Phaistos disc, a Minoan clay tablet with undeciphered symbols. The manuscript challenges our grasp of historical knowledge transmission, hinting at forgotten sciences or deliberate obfuscation. As we leaf through its pages metaphorically, it underscores how much of the past remains encoded, waiting for the right key. From cryptic texts to colossal earthworks, the Nazca lines in Peru's desert plains stretch our comprehension of ancient engineering. Etched between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the Nazca culture, these geoglyphs, straight lines, trapezoids, and figures of animals like monkeys and hummingbirds span hundreds of square miles, visible only from above. How did a pre-flight society create such precise designs, some over 100-200 feet long? Theories include astronomical calendars aligning with solstices, water rituals invoking gods, or even alien landing strips, as popularized by Erich von Däniken. Archaeologists explain them as ceremonial paths, made by removing dark pebbles to reveal lighter soil beneath, using simple surveying with stakes and strings. Aerial views weren't necessary. Scaled models and hilltop oversight sufficed. Yet their scale implies communal effort and sophisticated planning, perhaps tied to shamanic visions or pilgrimage routes. Linked to nearby aqueducts, they may symbolize water in an arid land. These lines connect to other megastructures, like Britain's Uffington Whitehorse, suggesting global patterns in ancient landscape art. They remind us that low-tech societies achieved high-impact feats, questioning if we undervalue their intellect. Venturing to China, the dropper stones, or by discs, emerge as disc-shaped jade artifacts from the 1930s Bayankara Ula expedition. Allegedly, 716 stones bore spiral grooves with microscopic hieroglyphs telling of extraterrestrial beings crash landing 12,000 years ago. Promoted in books like Sun Gods in Exile, they suggest alien contact aiding early humans. But investigation reveals the story as a hoax. No expedition records exist, and the hieroglyphs don't match known scripts. Similar Neolithic jade discs were ritual objects, not alien tech. The tale likely stems from sensationalist fiction, debunked by linguists. Yet genuine ancient discs, like those from Sanxingdui with advanced bronze, show real sophistication. This OOPArt illustrates how myths amplify artifacts, but also prompts exploration of legitimate anomalies, like Göbekli Tepe's 11,000-year-old pillars predating settled agriculture. Circling back to mechanisms, the Kimbaya artifacts from Colombia, gold figurines resembling jets, fuel aviation theories. Dating to 1000 CE, these airplanes have delta wings and vertical tails, unlike local animals. Scale models fly, suggesting aerodynamic knowledge. Experts identify them as stylized insects or birds, part of tomb offerings. Wind tunnel tests confirm flight capability coincidental. They link to other ancient aircraft, like India's Vimana texts describing flying machines. While not proof of flight, they highlight artistic ingenuity mimicking nature. In Central America, the Tacaxic head, a terracotta figurine with Roman features, suggests pre-Columbian transatlantic contact. Found in 1933 in Mexico, dated to 200 CE, it resembles a bearded European, challenging isolation theories. Critics argue contamination or hoax with no context. Similar bearded artifacts exist in Mesoamerica, possibly local styles. It echoes the Main penny, a Norse coin in a Native American site, confirming Viking presence. Deep in coal seams, the Bell of Dorchester, a brass bell from 1851 Virginia mine, claims 300 million year embedding, implying ancient metallurgy. Geologists explain as recent inclusion in coal. Like other coal artifacts, most are hoaxes or misdated. From bells to batteries, these artifacts weave a narrative of human curiosity and capability. The Koso artifact, a spark plug in 500,000-year-old geode, turned out a 1920s champion plug encased in iron oxide, nature's trick. The Main penny, however, is genuine, an 11th century Norse coin in Maine, evidence of Viking exploration. As we conclude, these impossible artifacts, from Antikythera's gears to Piri Reis's shores, compel us to reconsider history's linearity. They suggest forgotten technologies, cross-cultural exchanges, or simply our interpretive flaws. While some are debunked, others endure, sparking wonder. Perhaps our past holds more sophistication than textbooks allow, Or maybe it's a reminder of nature's deceptive ways. Either way, they invite you to question, research, and explore. If this journey intrigued you, hit like, subscribe for more mysteries, and comment your favorite artifact below. What do you think it means? Let's keep the conversation going and uncover more together. Thanks for watching.